Yes, how many people have been using this new version of what we started last week? Okay. Show of hands? Okay. What are you seeing is the effect now that we've added the tornadic action and now the increase in the general energy. What are you seeing now? Anyone? Are you seeing things brighter, more positive? Very good. Anyone else?
More positive, a lot more of energy.
So it seems like it's carrying you, you're feeling better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good. Anyone else? Anyone else?
I slept like a log.
You slept like a log.
Slept like a log.
Very good. That was a log we needed for a while. Very good. Very good. So it's been helping you get past that
Yes,
stress.
and I have two things and I don't remember what it was and I don't know why.
Okay.
Two things. Well, it happens all the time, but I have two things I was going to tell you.
Okay. Roger, I'm sorry, you had one?
That's right, I'm a lot calmer,
Okay.
I'm getting out of my way,
Okay.
and my body vibration is higher. I'm just a lot more at ease.
Okay. Good. Anyone else? Anyone else? Barbara, you've been using that
I
technique?
forgot about the tornadic thing part of it. Yes, but I have been using the
Good.
technique. And
Have you noticed that when you're looking at that hemisphere, you see it super bright? Do you notice it pulsating also? Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a yes?
Yes.
No. No. There's a fundamental frequency in the universe. It's called the Schumann frequency. And that Schumann frequency goes through every person, place, and thing in this universe. We're all connected to it. When you begin seeing it pulsating, that's connecting us to every person, place, and thing throughout the universe. And it's doing it super fast. This is pretty neat stuff. Yeah.
I've noticed that when I'm in a meditative state and I get really, what I feel is extremely close to spirit or above, I become completely hot, like hot flashes. Does anyone else do that? And it's scary. It scares me. And I think then I go out of it immediately.
It's
Okay.
intense.
It's intense, yes.
So even though you now have a distant sight, a sight outside your body for the spirit, you're still feeling that same thing. Okay.
I think it's been more intense for me.
Even more intense.
Yeah, I've felt things getting a lot more, I don't know, boomish, like it's just easier to expand
Okay.
faster.
Okay. I'm not sure what's going on there, except it seems like that energy is obviously going back into the body. The body system is having a hard time letting it go through. It's getting stuck somehow, and then it's starting to build up. It's starting to build up. You may want to imagine that all that energy is going around you, not through you, but around you, and you might be able to handle more of it without having those negative effects. Might want to try that. Okay, have you thought about what's really happening out there? We have a number of ideas that we're sending out. We're putting tremendous energy into it. Have you ever thought about really what's going on? Like what's happening? How are we getting these effects? Like we can sleep now, we're seeing things change more quickly inside of us. Have you thought about what's really going on there? Good question.
The time for manifestation, Shrieky.
True, that's true.
DNA changing?
Well, that's possible. Well, you're not alone in this because physicists don't understand how quantum theory works. They have no idea how this works. I mean, they know that you can do calculations, and the calculations will make predictions, and the predictions work from everything in a macroscopic basis to the smallest subatomic particle. But they don't understand what's really happening in this process. You guys are out there trying to define what's working and how it's working. And I'm coming up with an idea about this, and it's kind of like this. We're sending out all these ideas into this hemisphere, and we're sending out our wants and desires into that hemisphere. The best analogy I can give us is kind of like you have a dog, a hunting dog, that's in a large field, and there's a number of pheasants out there, but there's only one male pheasant and the rest are females. Okay, the dog can't distinguish. The dog is going hither, yonder, trying to pick up a scent. We're sending out various signals, we're sending out various ideas, just like the dog is going different places trying to pick up the scent. And then the dog locks into a scent. Can't tell whether it's a male or female pheasant. But it follows that scent and then gets to a point eventually where we get a reaction. It could be the male pheasant, it could be the female. Okay? Well, we kind of don't know, even though we're sending out all these ideas, which one of those is the right one at that time. We call it timing, right? So that's why when you, Mom, were asking about the attorney, we had to wait for a specific time when it was right in the universe so that you would send your signals into that period of time and tell the lawyer this was the right thing to do. If we missed that time, it wouldn't have worked.
But I believe also,
Yeah.
since last week that we had this experience with the spirit outside,
Yes,
my life starts to turn around.
yes, yes.
Everything is changing in my life.
That's
Everything.
true, that's true. It's all part of that timing
Yeah.
sequence.
But I didn't pay that much attention. But
Right.
when I look at the spirit
Mhm.
and I see, you know,
Right,
lights
right,
just going around, that's it.
right.
And it gives me a sense of security.
Good,
It gives me a
Good.
sense of, I know what I am,
right.
and it helped me to understand myself.
Right. And you just took me to the next point. Thank you very much. Very good. She's right on target. So we have this hunting dog that's going around to different parts of the field. We're sending out various signals. We have a number of people, places, and things in our hemisphere. We're asking them to do certain things for us. We're trying to get a certain response, just like the dog. But just like she's been saying, we may want something more than the others. We may want to really focus in on something, more than 5 or 6 items we may be sending out. Maybe there's one that we really, really, really want. Well then, we're sending that out. It's like we're telling the dog to go that way. We don't care what's out there, we're just telling it to go that way, even though the pheasants could be over here. Well, maybe we're right. Maybe we're right in telling the dog to go out that way. We may want it that badly, but the timing may not be correct. So what I'm trying to say in all this, and I'll probably have a better idea about this when we get back, this is just a quick idea about something. What I'm trying to suggest is this. We have to have the concept of timing. Even though we may want something, and we're sending out all this tremendous energy in the hemisphere, we may be out of sequence about wanting something, even though we're asking for it, and even though we want it badly. So what do? Well, you can give up and say it doesn't work, or you can keep at it every day, knowing that when it's the right time, it appears. Making sense? We cannot force anything in this universe. We can't force anything. We can't do that. We're not God, and even God doesn't force us. But we can send out our wants and desires, and we can get good at knowing about timing. That's another thing we really have to understand. But once we get the timing down, and then we know what we want, boom, that's when it occurs very fast. And that's when we see the action. Am I making my point here? Yes.
Does it have something to do with resistance or non-resistance?
And it can,
And
yes.
alignment?
Yes, and that's
Okay.
all part of perhaps
The
the timing
timing.
sequence that's going on right now. So I'm just saying that when you're sending out all this information about the things that you want, and you may not be getting quick results, or what you think are quick, don't despair. You just may be out of timing. Keep it up. Keep it going. When the timing is right and you are on the right path, things move so fast. So fast. And it's right to the point at that time. Just like you're seeing with your job. Yeah, I mean, it's been, and this has been, you know, you've been at this for years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but now you've allowed yourself, and the timing is much better, and boom, one after the other, things are moving.
Yeah.
And it's like that for all of us.
With little or no effort.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, and that's part of what I'm trying to say right now. So how do we know about timing? Well, you go back to spirit. Spirit will tell you, is this the right time to ask for this, this, or this? How do you get to that point? I wish I had a good answer. I know what I do. Okay? But again, it's practicing. It's practicing, practicing, practicing until you get this down. And practice some more. And keep practicing. Okay? But like I said, what we're doing right now is at the forefront of quantum theory. Not one physicist in the world knows what the answers really are right now. But I do think we're going in the right direction for trying to define reality for us. That's the whole point. For us. Because the one thing that's common in quantum field theory, one thing that's common is every person's perception determines the answer, their answer. Okay? It's not my perception that's going to determine your answer, it's your perception that will determine your answer. Okay? So whatever's happening there is your story. Now,
Okay, so what if, since we live in a community and we've got certain relationships or non-relationships based on family dynamics or whatever, you've got other energies focused at you.
sure,
So those also come into play. It's not only your perception,
that's right,
but the perception of those around you
right,
pointing towards you. Because
Right.
I can tell you that especially the past few weeks,
Right.
I think, it's been really difficult to get to that point where you're feeling that you are making a dent in that energy field
right.
because of all of that that's being focused towards me.
Sure, that's very much true. That's where the concept of clearing comes in. We must clear. Are you certain you understand the concept of clearing that works for you? Okay. Yeah, I'll just tell you what I do quickly. I just imagine that I am wherever I need to be. I mean, if I need to be here, I'm here. And I just imagine that inside me is a sphere that immediately expands out. I don't care how far I take it, and everything that's outside that sphere is away from me. There's nothing that's within that sphere except myself, God, and whatever else I want. I just allow it to expand, then I put a container around me very quickly. I don't care how big it is, I just put it around me, and then I'm isolated. I'm isolated. Then I can do my work. Then people that are trying to project their ideas and thoughts onto me, they're not going to affect me. They will not affect me. Now, how long does that last? That's kind of up to you, but if I'm doing serious work and if I have a serious situation, I'm going to clear myself frequently. I may do it every half hour, I may do it more. Okay? It just depends. It's just that I don't want to get an answer that is not right.
But it also depends on, like, I found that it depends on if I'm exhausted,
Right.
if
That's
I'm
right.
not feeling well, if I'm exhausted, if I'm overtaxed, or nothing I do works.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And you're right. You're right. And that's part of the timing, and we have to learn that and those things. That's a good point. But in general, this seems to work well for me.
Now, when you're clearing
Yeah.
that, is there some way you know when you're done that you've cleared?
Okay, that's a good question. For me, I just literally see what's around me. I just ask it to expose itself, show me. I create that sphere that goes out from me. Everything is pushed away. So I know that everything within inside my sphere, I see it actually, literally see it. I'm free. Now, if you aren't doing that, you may want to keep pushing it out far enough, far enough, far enough. I don't care how far that is, until you feel relaxed and confident.
Pushing out the sphere?
The sphere, far, 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 as far as you need to go, so that whatever this energy is that's around the sphere, it's far enough away from you so it doesn't affect you. It does not affect you.
Okay. And still have your intention to have the space cleared,
That's
even
right.
though you're not, okay.
Yeah, and still do that. And still do that.
And Gary, does that include fear and anger,
Oh.
those type of emotions also?
Well, that's a very good question, because that brings us back to the work that we're doing
Right.
now.
But that's part of the clearing
That's
process,
part of the
right?
clearing
Okay.
process. However, even though we're clearing the energies of the fear or the anger, and we're putting it outside the sphere, the damage that's been done, literally physical damage, that physical damage also has to be repaired. So going through our 4 steps will help repair both the energetic problems that occurred and the physical problems that occurred from having energy stuck here or here. Okay? So even though you pushed it out, you may have stopped it, but you have to repair that damage.
Consciously, I mean, in the
That's right.
meditation repair.
Yes,
Okay.
because that
That's a
damage
good
is
point.
very, very deadly. And that will eventually give people a physical problem, okay? And an energetic one too. But the basic idea is this, and this is what I'm seeing in people. If we're stuck here or here, I don't care which one we are. I don't care who we are. I have not seen one person, myself included, that is equally very strong in both areas, my brain and heart, literally physically. I have not found anyone who is tremendously strong in both areas so they can overcome this type of energy for any length of time. Okay? And if they're not aware of that, and because one of these two areas is going to be weaker than the other, and if they're not aware of that and they're not doing something, well, I guarantee you the causes of, quote, aging, this is one of the major problems. Okay, something's going to break. It's going to be brain or heart. Okay, so we must be careful with this. That's another reason why we're going through those 4 steps to give these 2 areas a chance to heal, physically and energetically. So am I being clear about that? Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, this is another thing I'm checking when people come in the office. You'd be surprised how sometimes difficult this is, again, to talk to people off the street that come in, and I'm trying to explain this so they can understand this. It's kind of amusing sometimes to watch their expressions when I'm talking about these things. And this is why I need your help in trying to understand how can I talk to the public out there about these concepts so they'll understand it. Yeah. Now, Sandra, you suggested a technique. Would you mind explaining that technique for me?
All right. I like to give credit to the people who teach me these things. So, this is a book by Mindy Odlin. She comes to Dallas once in a while and speaks at Unity of Dallas. She works all over the place, and Pat was commenting on the title. Most of us didn't grow up with this. What if it all goes right? So her technique is just calling in, it's called What If Up. And a person, when it's done, you can do it personally on your own. When it's done in a group, it's like Gary is saying, how do I get my message out? Correct?
Right. That's it.
Yes, how do I get it out to the public? So what we're gonna do tonight is we're gonna form a circle. For some reason, we need a circle. And this is all for you.
Oh, thank you.
And we're gonna meditate first, so that the ideas we're giving are not, oh, my brain says that's a great idea. My heart really wants him to do this. You know, we're really gonna get into spirit and get connected with divine ideas. I know after a few years, probably, it took me that long, working with Gary, I said, you get into God's ideas. You know, I want to know how you do that. You have this direct line. And so anyway, that's the technique. It's very simple. We'll just form a circle, and Gary, you will not respond.
Okay.
You're just taking it in. We're putting those ideas out there as they come to us from here, not from here or here,
Right.
but from our spirit.
True. How do you suggest I keep track of this? Because I'd like to hear what you're saying also.
Well, someone could record it, or will it be on the, will it be on the
Should be on it?
YouTube?
Okay, so we'll need to speak
Yes,
out loud.
that
so
way,
we
yes,
can
we
hear
need
it.
to speak out.
Okay.
Just, you know, close your eyes, open your eyes, however you want to do this, but the important thing is we get to spirit level. So we really tap into divine ideas.
Okay.
Anybody have questions?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
So we hold hands then?
You can hold hands.
Do we move our chairs in a circle, Sandra?
Please, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna start. She talks about, in her book, she talks about the reality of living at this brain and heart level, what it looks like, and what it really can be when we get into spirit.
Move your chair up.
All right, let's close the circle.
Where the circle's going. Okay. So you have a chair. Make it bigger. Waiting on my chair.
We're standing.
Come in, everybody. Please join the circle,
Are we
and
going to be sitting or standing?
we can sit. Better we sit. Close up the circle, everybody in.
Coming through? Okay. You're not gonna be in the
Create a
circle.
circle of wonderful energy. Come in, David.
Are you David? Okay,
But
come on.
can we have spaces, or we need to be there?
I think it'd be better to have it closed.
David, why don't you
Come in,
come?
come in.
Come spot over
David,
here.
sit right there.
Want some go?
So, I'll start the meditation, and we're gonna keep it very simple. Everybody's good? All right.
You're sweating.
Okay, so we are definitely going to claim this space. And we are giving God permission to act, to give us these divine ideas. We're asking for help. We're calling in all the helpers we need, God, Jesus, celestial beings, whomever is your support. And we know that God's energy is running through us. We are grounded in the earth. And we have access to a higher realm, a higher dimension. Whatever would stand in our way of receiving these ideas, in this hemisphere we've created, this giant hemisphere with all of us, we are clearing it now. No thoughts, attitudes, negative emotions are allowed. And with that, let's begin to breathe. Breathe the energy of God. Breathe the breath of God. Knowing that these ideas are here for our access. When you are relaxed and calm, and you know you are in spirit, open yourself to ideas for Gary. Divine ideas. We're calling them forth.
Design a coloring book. A childlike story, but an adult coloring book, which has lately become a phase. But as we become like children, we're connected with spirit.
Work with children, especially in communities that are open-minded. Children are ready for this.
Especially the indigo children.
relax and know that God is opening doors. He's making pathways for you to do your work.
Maybe one of your musically inclined clients can compose a song for you. Music.
You could write a weekly blog explaining how this is working and what you're seeing each week, as it repeats over and over and over again.
Mhm.
In conjunction with that, you could have a Facebook page dedicated.
Be vigilant for other like-minded people. They're there, they're out there.
Spend time and play in the sunshine.
Weekly radio show. Or podcast.
A TED Talks.
Mhm.
Social media with blogs, articles, and testimonials.
Have actually a place where people can actually post their own experience with it.
Mhm.
A good way to get people new knowledge, I found sometimes, is through a story. And tell a story about some event or something that they can relate to that will reveal that knowledge. Stories are always a good way to do it.
connect with other medical professionals that are working with healing energies and, connecting with them and maybe being a guest on some of the shows that are interviewing doctors that are getting amazing results. I think it's time for that component to be added. So connecting with others in the healing profession. Such as one of the documentaries, like The Truth About Cancer, there's a lot of medical professionals that would be open to learning about what your work is. You could go to the History Channel with that, they do all kinds of cool topics like that.
Documentary, perhaps.
Yeah. And they could do a whole thing on alternative medicine.
Doors are opening.
Offer transformational seminars, retreats.
I think if we all meditated before we went to bed at between the hours of 10 and midnight, just on the hour for 5 minutes. Some of us do meditations before we go to sleep, but just first 5 minutes of each of those hours if we're still up, and just saw the entire group with Gary in the middle, and that we all are reaching for the next step. How to move and make that next step so that we reach the right people for the purpose that we're connecting here for. I think it's like avian consciousness. Everybody moves in the same direction with no thought. And it'd be pretty powerful if at 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock, just for 5 minutes, those who are available can connect and just see the whole group and see the next step for Gary to bring this to the world, and the next step for all of us, because we're all one, so the success of one is the success of all.
We could use that technique to find a ghostwriter.
Whatever that next step is.
Speak at churches that are open, like Unity and Dallas and Fort Worth, possibly Grapevine.
Maybe if you are to do a weekly vlog, and that could then be sent out to in a newsletter, and all of those that receive that newsletter can then share it with their friends and ask them to share it. And pretty soon, it's pretty amazing how quickly you can get followers.
Let's close this with several minutes of meditating gratitude. Pure gratitude for all these wonderful ideas.
Can we also put out prayer requests for anyone right now? Anyone?
Could our house be sold quickly?
Good.
My house will be sold quickly.
Excellent. Keep it going.
Desiree working on a big project right now.
So you want for Desiree to have,
Success.
Success, may it go smoothly and efficiently for her.
okay, and she gets good prosperity then?
Yes.
Okay.
And
All
my
levels?
mom's court case go well, the hearing go well,
Okay.
be resolved.
That my sister Sharon be healed.
Marco be healed.
Andy be healed. Uncle Nate stay safe.
Daughter Alexis gets the money that she needs to be in the dorm in February,
How much does she need?
$4,000.
Okay, let's put it out there.
I see it.
Actually, January.
Yeah. Let's go for 10.
Okay.
Sharon needs a roommate for the change that she made in her trip itinerary.
AJ is going through a time with his dog. People use prayer.
Not here?
Well, to all of us, our family and our friends, over Christmas and Hanukkah, we have a fantastic holiday. We come back refreshed, renewed, and we start this next year off well.
Thank you, Gary and Mary, for all that you do, and Sandra for us.
You're very welcome. It's mutual.
Yes, it is.
It's very mutual.
Thank you for all the gifts in this room that we share with each other and with the world. Help us to remember we're blessings.
Now, we are loaded with prosperity, every one of us.
Yes, we
We are very wealthy beyond belief in all
Yes,
of our
we are.
gifts of prosperity. We just need to accept it and be confident. Keep sending the information out.
We see it and we feel it, and we know it's ours. And we are so grateful. Let's close with 3 thank you, gods. Thank you, God,